Hello, 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 and welcome to episode 18 of the Cooler Guild. I'm your host, Coop, and joined with me, as usual, is my co-host, Van.
Hello.
We are recording on Tuesday, October 1st, 2024. It's spooky season.
It's Spooky Lakes month.
What's Spooky Lakes?
This person named Geo has a Spooky Lakes month account on TikTok where she covers a spooky lake every day.
Right. Yeah, I remember now.
Anyway,
On today's episode, we'll be discussing Reigns' loss at home to Bay FC, preview their next match, as well as take a look at the league playoff picture. But first, some housekeeping.
the Cooler Guild is part of the Sounder at Heart podcast network. You can either listen to us on our public feed or, if you're a Sounder at Heart subscriber, on the private unified feed with the other podcasts on the network. If you'd like to become a subscriber, just visit our page at sounderatheart.com/the Cooler Guild. New members get 10% off the normal rate, and you'll help support everything we're doing here.
How are things?
Good.
Good.
I went to the doctor today, and
Yeah.
I'd also gone on Friday because I thought I had shingles again.
Shingle girl.
I already had it once this year. I thought I had shingles again. Turns out I didn't.
That's good.
But I went on Friday for that, and then I had scheduled another appointment today just to check in.
Mm-hmm.
And between Friday and today, according to the doctor's office, I've lost 15 pounds.
How is that possible?
I don't trust their scale anymore.
Yeah, I wouldn't. Something's
Yeah.
going on there. I mean, I know you've been working out, but that seems crazy.
I was just like, all right, look at me.
I know. Did someone have like a toe on it like last time?
I don't know.
That's wild.
Now, everything's good here. I didn't do much this weekend. Oh, I got vaccinated this weekend.
Nice. You gotta do
So,
that.
yeah, I got my COVID shot and my flu shot on Friday. That was great. Felt like shit Friday night, though.
Yeah, that's usually expected. That's why you gotta do it on a Friday so that you're not feeling like shit on Monday.
Yeah, we were sitting there watching Dancing with the Stars, and I was just like, I don't feel good. Oh, yeah, not much else. What about you?
I did a lot of coping. So I have a art project that is a secret project. I don't think I've even showed you it. It's for somebody that they have no idea about it. Anyway, so I'm working on a project, but it's kind of annoying me. I'm like at a point in making something that I don't know what to do. It's like getting too difficult to finish. So I just started knitting a new hat. And so I made a new hat, finished it up in like a couple days because hat season's coming, fall, winter's coming. Then I ordered some more yarn. So I'm just going to like have like this hat that I'm wearing here. I'm going to have like maybe not the entire rainbow, but I'm trying to have something for every outfit. Because right now I just have a pink hat, which was great, classic, whatever. But I don't want to be known as pink hat girl. I just want to be known as cool hat girl.
Can you make me a little fisherman's beanie?
Like this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a real short one.
Yeah, that's
So I
what
can wear
this
it
one
to
is.
Fisher. So I can wear it to Fisher Poets.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, it's taken me like two and a half days. I still gotta block my other one. I don't know if you know what blocking is.
I do not, but go on.
It's just kind of like hold the shape after you knit it. So you like
Gotcha.
soak it in like this like special whatever, and then kind of like set it down on a towel and like let it dry out in that shape, and it kind of holds the shape a bit more. So,
Oops.
but I love making this pattern. I finally found like a good pattern for hats. I feel like they're always, I don't know. I've been knitting long enough now, and I think I know how to find the right patterns. Before it's kind of like a guessing game, but this one's great. It's called the if anyone knits out there and looking for a good little fisherman's hat, fisher person's hat, it's called the Siege. Ceej. It's like some chick's husband's name or something like that, but I love it. We can roll into, I suppose, the match now.
Yep. Let's get into it.
I'll just do the recap because that's where we're gonna have to start this somewhere.
Okay.
On Sunday afternoon in Seattle, Reign played Bay FC in what some may have described as a quote-unquote must-win match.
That was me.
I think you and maybe several other people. The team was trying to find any possible way to sneak into the playoffs because they are not in control of their destiny. So they needed to find a win somehow, just to at least give them some sort of chance. Things did not go well. In the first half, Lou Barnes went down with some sort of injury, leading to her having to exit the field for a little bit. And while that happened, immediately afterwards, play resumed. And while she was on the sideline, Bay took quick advantage of the opportunity and charged up the middle of the Reigns back line, and they were able to get a penalty after a foul from Phoebe Clorinan in the box.
Wasn't a foul.
There wasn't really a great look at it. We couldn't get a good angle on it. They didn't seem to care that much. Anyways, but you can't let that ruin your game. It did. Oshawa took the penalty, put Bay FC up 1-0. Reign didn't have an answer. They looked Pretty predictable, in my opinion, uninspired for a lot of the match. And while there were some decent last-ditch efforts in the final minutes, it was ultimately too little, too late once again. Mathematically, Reigns' playoff chances may still have a pulse, but playoff possibilities are very much on life support.
Mm-hmm. Not a great watch.
No, and I know we at the last episode I would say are trying to hold on to positivity.
That was really hard this game.
Yeah. I mean, I would say I was trying to hold on to it because, there was still a chance and all of that, but this game was bad.
Yeah.
It wasn't just like a screamer. I mean, it was a penalty, little questionable penalty from a mistake. Hats off to them. They took advantage of it, but like we had nothing to answer.
Whole lot of nothing. So let's go started it right back again, which in that sense I think worked. I mean, with the limited options.
At moments. I would say her service quality wasn't there the entire time, and she acknowledged that as well.
Oh yeah, and it's new, to change. Jess Fishlock is still out. We don't really have a timeline on her return.
I'm kind of getting, after seeing what happened with Barnes though, I'm kind of just like, let's not rush it, right? I mean, I don't know if the Barnes injury was related to her previous injury, but because she had to get off the field in the first half, 27 minutes in, that goal happened. I would hate to have a similar situation again.
Well, Fishlock's going to go down either way. It's her. So,
good point.
I mean, it's not like she's trying to prolong her career here, right? We all kind of know that this is most likely the last season for her.
Yeah.
So with 4 games left,
what can we do?
It's kind of a choice.
This is kind of just a bummer. I really just don't know. Same problems keep happening. We had the streak to kind of give us some hope that, at least we have maybe some pieces here that could work next year.
Yeah, I feel like I got catfished.
Have you been catfished before?
No.
Sure. No shame in getting catfished.
No, my first girlfriend I found on MySpace, and she did not catfish me.
I caught a catfish once. That's a story for another day, but it wasn't mine. I was helping someone else. I said this before, but I do feel like us getting to the final last season, so many teams making it into the playoffs, and I know we did pretty well last year. It wasn't like horrible, but I do feel like a lot of problems got covered up by how far we got last year. Long problems that kind of were lingering in the background with like, this is gonna maybe not work out in the long term for us. I feel like it's gonna catch up to us at some point, and it has now.
Yeah, and I almost feel like we have the opposite problem right now, where things may not look good right now.
Yeah.
But as far as the players we've brought in, and the youth talent that we have, the future, while the current situation is pretty dim,
yeah,
the future seems to be bright. But there's going to be movement in the off season, stuff that we like, stuff that we don't like. So I think it's whatever happens the rest of this season, it'll be interesting to see kind of what the makeup of the team looks like at the beginning of the season next year. Let's
go. I don't have a ton of notable stats. I don't feel like there's really anything to try to dive into just because this team's been bad. So I didn't want to try to. The stats are there. We suck and we're bad, below the standings. But the 2 stats I feel like maybe that contribute to why we're so bad that they had posted. 14, which this is maybe slightly encouraging for next year. 14 of 22 rain matches have been decided by just 1 goal.
That's good.
We're not getting blown out. Could be worse. The other stat that was up on the match day stuff. Reign have used an NWSL high 30 players this season. They've had a different starting 11 in every single match this season, all 22.
Which is just crazy.
Crazy. And it just made sense. I can't pick a starting 11. There's no clear, besides a few positions, there's no clear starting 11 to me.
I would agree with that. But I also don't think we've seen enough consistency from the lineup to really gauge that.
Sure. Yeah.
So I would argue that this stat is also conducive to why we don't have a clear starting 11.
Yeah, I think that's fair. The only 2 players that have appeared in every single of those 22 matches, Ji So-yeon and Phoebe McClernon, makes sense to me.
Yeah.
I was kind of surprised there wasn't somebody else in there, but we've been kind of rotating a lot in the back, players leaving. We've had
national team absences.
Yeah, trying to work in youth players. It's just we don't really have a forward who has been outstanding enough or here enough that we would want to be starting or in every single match. It's a bummer situation.
It is a bummer situation, and I wish we did. Wish we had that one player that we can be like, yes, you're starting.
It's at times we've had G have that game. It's not consistent though.
No, but I think a lot of that has to do with the players around her. So it's I don't know what else to say on this. It's
Yeah, it sucks. Let's roll into the positives. We do have a few positives. Number one,
there's always next season.
there sure is.
But on the same same note as what we talked about before is we have the building blocks there, right? It's just we need to be able to cultivate that quality that we've been lacking.
Yeah, that's the big question, right? It's week after week. We hear the same thing from Laura Harvey, and it's just like
we're just missing that bit of quality.
Is
okay,
that
where is it? Can you find it?
Yeah,
please?
Find it, please. What's the issue? Don't know. I do think the young players I feel good about with the positivity train rolling.
The only one I would question, just because we haven't seen a lot of her, is Ainsley McCammon.
She's real young though, right?
She's real young. She's going to the U7. She was just named on the U17 national team roster.
I'm very conflicted about players being under the age of 18 in this league anyways.
Right. So that'll be cool. It'll be cool to see her in that U17 environment.
Yeah, for sure. See what she can do because we just really don't know a lot. She had she had an appearance right in the summer cup.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking she looked pretty somid there. So
I mean, on that same string there, Jordan Bug looked good. She had a few shaky moments, but I think overall when she came in at halftime, she looked solid.
She hadn't played for a while for us, at least.
Yeah, she hadn't played for a while for us. She caught up and stopped Kudananji from having a breakaway shot. I was like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, we didn't concede a goal in the run of play.
Positive.
Very big positive. And Bug being back there, it's definitely a reason for that, I believe. Let me go. I don't know what the fuck's going on. I need to go see what's going on because they're not stopping.
Okay. I'll be here.
Good? Are you good? Louis wanted out anyway, so which you can't ever hear him when he wants out because he doesn't know how to ask for help. My jersey's here.
What jersey?
From the auction last year.
Oh, so Coop is opening up her jersey that she won at a silent auction last year. Let's see it. So it's the white this year's jersey. How many signatures can you make out?
We got G. It looks like Ainsley, Bug, Adames, but also look how cute this G. Oh, isn't that cute?
It's like a little cartoon.
Yeah.
And then it just says G.
Yeah, I love that. They'll get it framed. That'll cost an arm and a leg.
That'll cost more than you paid for the jersey.
Truly. Okay, so next positive you had listed was a noticeable improvement when Howell came on, what minute did Howell come in?
86th minute, I think. Yeah, 86th minute. We never know. With Laura Harvey, we never know what's going on with a player. If they're on a minutes restriction, like what is happening? But she didn't start the game, and I was really curious if she would come on earlier in the second half.
Yeah.
And then it was because we weren't winning the ball in the midfield. We were controlling a good amount of possession, but there was just no impactful penetration into the attacking third. So I was hoping she'd come on earlier, but no, we put her in the 86th minute. That last 5 minutes of regular time and then into the added time were the best for the Reign all game. I mean, your common denominator there is bringing on Howell. So I'd like to see more of that. There was one other thing that was a positive for me. In the first half, there was a moment where Claudia Dickey got the ball in her hands and had a really quick distribution out to like the half line to G. And G was able to take the ball up and attack. And I was like, okay, Claudia, with your quick distribution, like you've been working on your distribution. And just like the sight and the ability to look up and see that, I think it's something great. And I hope to see more of that from her.
I go back and forth on being excited about Dickey, but I feel pretty good about the way she's kind of been looking after having some kind of abysmal games.
It's better than bad.
You're still not. It was fun. Leanne Sanderson seems to be a fan of hers. I know that's not probably saying much sometimes, but she does seem to be I don't know. Again, there are some pretty bad keepers in this league. Specifically,
which we'll get into.
Specifically south of us, but yeah. Okay, well,
moving on into the negatives. Other than everything, yeah, I mean that same concept where the team only seemed to gain a sense of urgency and fight
mm-hmm,
at the very end of the game.
mm-hmm.
It's like, I'm sorry, we've been here for 85 minutes. Could you have done something then?
Yeah, and that's kind of been the theme for a lot of matches this season. And so like you would hope that knowing what your playoff chances are at this point, which are very bleak, couldn't you come out fighting with that energy?
Yeah, I don't know what's going on, but at points I'm just kind of at a loss for words because if I say anything else, I'm just gonna amp myself up and like be more upset about it when I don't really need to be yet, and I will let myself be when needed. But at this point, we're going into Friday game. We've got the Amazon Prime game. You just have to look forward until it's no longer a possibility.
I know not everybody's probably listened to every single episode we've ever put out, which like that's on you. But
Thank you.
we didn't ever do like it took us a long time to get a winning episode, and then we got three in a row. But before that, I mean, I think that we're just kind of sick of having to say the exact same things over and over and over again because it hasn't been, these issues are the same issues.
Yeah.
Nothing has changed. We have a few new players and stuff like that, but like these big issues don't get fixed overnight. You might see moments where like we can rise above that and you can see the vision of what this club is for like say next year when they have more time to build chemistry and all of that stuff, but it's going to take time and it's just kind of unfortunate that, with the sale of the team and the timing of all of that, we just weren't able to kind of get these pieces put together because the sale of the team got announced so long ago that it was just really shitty that the sale of the team didn't get closed sooner.
Yeah.
Because then we could have tried to make all these moves before, when we knew we weren't going to have Lavelle and Sonnet and we were still, trying to figure out what to do about Megan Rapinoe leaving. We could have done all of these moves sooner, and then we would have had a wider selection of players to choose from.
Yeah, I mean, it really stunted that development,
Mm-hmm.
that roster development after those big moves happened.
Mm-hmm.
And we had to wait for that next transfer window
Mm-hmm.
to be able to make those moves. And that just was too long. So there's a lot of factors at play. And I think it is a little bit helpful to ease a bit of that frustration when we think about those bigger picture issues. Rather than just kind of focusing or nitpicking on like in-game performance and things like that. Because when you look at that, how we got to where we are,
Yeah.
you're like, oh, okay, it kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
Should we be playing with the players that we have right now? Should we be playing better? Yes. And I think that that's where the bane of my frustration lies.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the performance from the quality that you have isn't good enough because we are lacking some pieces, but at the same time, the pieces that we have aren't performing to their potential.
Not only that, but the goals we're conceding are, I would say, pretty easily fixable stuff, or it's just like momentary lapses that you would hope that players who we believe have quality could get over and not allow these types of goals that we do give up. So I don't know. I think that's definitely part of the problem.
Yeah, and seeing McLaren so upset after the game was just heartbreaking.
I really did not appreciate the camera person just like zooming in on her because she's been really solid. I saw someone on Reddit trying to like say McLaren wasn't the answer in the back line. And I was like, buddy,
blasphemy.
She had this bad match, sure. And I don't even think she was, yeah, it was a bad match. I'm not even going to try to play it up like it wasn't. It was a bad match for her. But she's been so solid for most of the season that there's no way I'm going to throw her under the bus for this match.
I also don't think it was.
We don't know if it was a penalty because there wasn't enough views and there was hardly any replay.
Yeah, but I also don't think it was in general a bad match from her. I think it was a mediocre match from everyone, and we're just used to her playing really well.
Yeah, I guess that's fair.
And so a bad match from her is a good match from a lesser player. So I wouldn't frame it as her having a bad match, but it definitely was not the same level that we've seen her and others on the team at.
I hope she was able to kind of reflect and realize that it really wasn't. I mean, I'm sure that it was just kind of the emotions of everything hitting her with the playoffs and everything, and then knowing that the penalty got called because of her. But I really, really hope she can at least reflect on some of the positives that she's brought to this team all season.
She was 2-time back-to-back Cooler Player of the Match.
Yeah, that's big. That's big time. It's like the
So
it's like the
maybe
stat.
we should post something and tag her in it just to boost her spirit.
Yeah, I think we'll probably end up doing, I mean, I'm not gonna say she'll be it for sure because we gotta look at everything that's happened this year, but I think we're probably gonna do like a cooler player of the year, right? Of the season,
Oh, are
right?
we?
Yeah, we got to, right?
Yeah. I mean,
I think she's up there. She's definitely like a candidate, I would say, for that.
should we have like an offensive and a defensive?
Sure, we can do that.
We're workshopping as
Yeah, we
we
can workshop it.
as we pod.
We could yeah, we'll figure something out. We've got a few
And
weeks
end
to
of
figure it
season
out.
awards.
I think that's pretty much it for the positives, negatives.
I did want to touch on one other thing. There was a potential handball in the box in the second half
Oh yeah, she had the chicken
that
wing
didn't
out.
get sent to review.
Yeah. They didn't even try it.
No, and they were like, "Well, what else is she supposed to do?" And I'm like, "Well, if you're going to keep your hands behind your back, keep them behind your back. A chicken wing is not a normal position." But they
No.
didn't even review it, and there wasn't even good. That's the thing with these NWSL Plus matches. There's not enough camera angles. You see a VAR review on, at any of the Amazon Prime games, you've got like 5, 6 different angles, and these NWSL Plus games, you got like 2.
And then like one of them's like so blurry because it like can't keep up with the speed.
Yeah, one of them's blurry, or there's like people blocking it.
Yeah, it's not
It's
good.
just like, ugh.
No, it's not good at all.
So moving on from the positives and negatives, I did watch the post-match presser. Olivia Athens and Veronica Latsko. It was a somber mood. I mean, we kind of touched on everything that they said. They talked about, they needed to manage the game better when they knew they had a player off, which is like, yeah, okay. Not much you can do there, but it's good. Good thing to be aware of moving forward. They're still looking at the playoffs. It's not mathematically impossible at this time, which to me feels like that moment in Dumb and Dumber where he's talking to Mary and he's like, "So you're
So they're
saying
saying
there's a
there's
chance?"
Yeah. You should make that a meme with Veronica Latsko's face in there. I mean, I'll believe it when I see it. I've been kind of feeling checked out for the playoffs for a little while. I know you've kind of held on hope a little bit longer, but I can see it's fleeting for you. Let's go into cooler player of the match. Wrap up most of this match.
The cooler player of the match is brought to you by the Doctor's Office, a great little 12-seat bar on Capitol Hill. The owner is a big fan of the rain and is proud to be our first sponsor. Cooler player of the match.
Yeah, we were kind of not sure what to do. I think we decided on 2 things. Do you want to just do 1 or do we want to do 2?
We should stick with 1.
The second one on there?
Yeah.
Coping tools. After that match ended, I was in just such a sad and like, I don't know if I was really sad. I was just like, I just need to like kind of decompress.
Yep.
From having to watch that. So I like popped on Bob's Burgers and started finishing knitting my hat. It really helped. It really helped me.
I took a nap. I took a short nap and then worked on my puzzle.
It's good to have hobbies. Soccer is such a big part of my life and it always will be, but it's always good to have other things because things like sports tend to also create a lot of stress.
Mm-hmm.
It's not everything. Usually only one team can be the champion. So there's more of us who are feeling down and need to cope. Shout out to Coping Tools. Welcome to the Cooler Player of the Match Hall of Fame. Once again, thank you to our sponsor, the Doctor's Office. The Doctor's Office is the best place to grab a drink before or after rain match. Make an appointment today and try out their limited edition Doctor's Note, a tequila, grapefruit, and Aperol cocktail that manages to taste juicy without having any juice at all. Check out their Instagram at TDO Seattle, or better yet, go drink there in person. Cheers.
Cheers.
Clink.
So I posted in the Discord, saying if anybody had anything to contribute to the episode or any questions or how we felt about things. And one of our good friend of the pod, Mongolian Barbecue, shout out, asked about Harvey's apparent lack of self-awareness regarding her contribution to the team's missing, quote, bit of quality, unquote. And I think this is an important question. And we've kind of been skirting around it all season just because they're like, we need to give her a chance. We need to give her a chance. And I think for me, that chance extends into next season. And I think maybe at the midpoint of next season, we reevaluate. But for now, with the amount of changes, the ability to bring new players in, now that we have the money and to see what shifts happen with the roster in the off season, I don't want to bring in a new coach at that point. But I would agree that there seems to be not a lot of recognition on her part that maybe she's part of the problem. And maybe it's not even her. Maybe it's Scott Parkinson. Maybe you
Yeah.
need to bring in an assistant coach who's better. What's Sam doing? Can we get Sam back?
I've been wondering these things too. I think we've talked about this. It's kind of hard to call out these things on our podcast because I don't know. I get the team's in a really bad place right now. In the standings, whatever, they don't look good. They're not finishing chances for lack of quality, right? But I do think it's hard to just call out people because we don't know exactly what the situation is. So like we could say somebody specific, but it could be something completely different. And then here we are just calling out names to just call out a name because we think we know what's happening. We don't.
Right.
I don't know. Sam was with us for a long time, and is there some capacity we can bring him back to the team? I'd be curious.
I think from what I know from my sources, his separation contract
mhm.
from Houston had some sort of clause where he couldn't coach for like a certain amount of time. So there might be something in that, might be another way for him to come back, but I don't know
Mhm.
if that's what the team needs.
Yeah.
We're not in that side of the conversation. And
No.
we are seeing things from a single direction, right? And it's really easy to assign blame from our position. But like you're saying, we don't know everything going on. And so to put all of the blame on her would be really hard. And I think at some point as a fan, when your team is progressively getting worse, right? Then it's okay to call it out, right?
Mhm.
Call for change in leadership.
Mhm.
But in my opinion, we're not there yet
It reminds me a little bit of the Brian Schmetzer situation.
with the Sounders.
Yes, I think that she's been dealt a really difficult hand this year, and I think she's done maybe not always the best that she could do with this team, but I do think I think she's brought out a lot more this team out of these players than maybe other coaches for sure would. I think we would look a lot worse without her. I just think that we haven't had the chance to go and try to get great players here since we've lost so many big names.
And I don't think Laura Harvey is hindering that. I would care to think that players, now that they, our ability to get them and the draft being gone and,
Mm-hmm.
full free agency,
Mm-hmm.
is people want to play for her.
They
You hear
do.
from players all the time. They want to play for her. So getting rid of a coach who's well liked by the players is never good.
No, and there's tons of like she's gonna get scooped up by somebody else.
Yeah. And if you think about it, like, if you want to think about it a different way, okay, say we axe her, right? Say we fire her. Who the hell else are you getting?
Right now, yeah, it's not a lot of
Twyla
options.
Kilgore? No.
Maybe Casey Stoney, but
The Cooler Guild would live on.
yeah, but I don't know that I like because we've watched the way that Casey Stoney plays, and I'm not sure I want that.
Yeah. And it's just like I still have faith in Laura Harvey. Like that's not lost for me yet. And so I think that it's important to be happy with what you have and to remember that she's the reason a lot of the players are still here.
For sure. And I like she's also been one of those coaches who's never been a fan of the draft. She never takes the draft. She's never taken the draft seriously. She's always just like, well, I'll just go get the players that I want when I can.
To our freaking dismay.
Yeah, I mean, it hasn't been without us being upset about it because I do think that we've missed out on a lot of opportunities and taking the draft super seriously. But she has been one of those people that's kind of like, I can get players on my own. I don't need the draft. It's just we haven't had the opportunity to actually do that with the new ownership.
Yeah.
At least not in like a true sense, right? We had like a little window, but we really were not. She wasn't given full freedom to do that.
And to go out and to talk to players and to convince them and to be in a contract negotiation,
Yeah, now we've got the training facility, right? All redone, so we can use that as part of the selling point. We're at Lumen. It's a great place to play.
We're tied with the men's team now. You have access to a lot more resources.
Seattle's a very attractive place to play. I will, like you, hold off my negativity on her and maybe reassess it, see where we are in the middle of next year.
Yeah. And I think back to his more specific question, that's the thing. We don't know if she has a lack of self-awareness regarding her contribution to missing the little bit of
I
quality.
don't know that she's gonna admit that.
I don't think that's the thing. I don't think she would ever admit to us
Yeah.
or an oppressor. If you ever have the chance and you want to see kind of the level of transparency that Laura Harvey allows, go watch a press conference.
She's pretty honest about the situation.
She's honest, but very tight-lipped.
Yes.
So you don't know the intricacies of how she is understanding where this lack of quality comes from. For all we know, she could, be in the locker room telling them, like, I need to do better. Like, we need to focus on different things at practice.
Yeah.
We don't know. And I would doubt that she is daft or too thick to understand that she could probably be part of the problem.
Yeah. I have a hard time believing that she's not, like, because she says it week after week after week. She's been saying this for like a long time. Like,
nobody could say that for this many games and not be like,
maybe
is it me?
I mean, she's not a man, so I feel like a man could be like, well, it can't be me. But I'm not seeing Laura Harvey be one of those people. So
no, not at all.
So appreciate the comment and talking point from you, Mongolian Barbecue. If you ever want to send us something, please do.
Other happenings around the league.
Orlando is still undefeated.
Just absolutely insane. Are they going to be the first team to go into the postseason undefeated?
I think so.
Not if we have anything to say about it in the last game of the season.
Yeah.
So if we have nothing else to play for, to ruin a perfect season for them would be so sweet.
It would be, but I kind of like Orlando.
Okay, we've both kind of always liked Orlando, so
I've always loved it. Maybe even the word love could come up, but I love this plot line for them. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
This storyline is crazy.
Ali Watt, we miss you.
They have so many fucking players we've had. I guess this is something I will say about the Reign. I've had questions maybe about players they let go of before. I don't think sometimes we've held on to the correct players. Ali Watt being maybe one of them. But there's a few players. Angelina got a really good goal recently, playing for Orlando as well.
She had a lot of injury woes, and they got her on a really good deal because of that.
I understand.
We didn't really have. There's reasons, and especially in that case,
it's hard to watch. It is hard to watch, though.
Plus, that's where all the Brazilians go anyway.
I know. I'm not gonna be mad if the Reign want to spoil the party. I won't be mad about it.
That's gonna be my entire hope. If something happens and we're no longer able to be in the playoffs, that would be my shining moment of the season.
Hang the banner.
Yeah.
It's also in Orlando, so like that'll be tough. Another wonderful match from our favorite keeper,
Mackenzie Arnold,
MVP. You said you put MVP after Arnold, and I agree. Most valuable player
for us.
Mm-hmm.
For all of the teams below them.
Portland, I don't know what the fuck is going on. And I'm using the F word here because I don't know what the fuck is going on.
Well, they hired that fucking idiot coach.
Yeah. Who was the one who signed off on that? That's my question. But I mean, they're going through a transition as well with their ownership. Their GM, I got some questions about that, but I'm also fine with it. So, just sign her for longer. Great. Sounds good to me.
Keep doing what you're doing, Portland.
Yeah, love it. Love it for me. They played you noted this, they were playing at San Diego.
Yeah.
I don't know what the fuck is going on, but that field is so bad.
It looked like a quilt. It was like a patchwork gene. They replaced like certain parts of the grass. It was awful. And then other parts were just completely bare.
They needed to figure something else out, because that is like so unacceptable. There's always this like,
isn't that a new stadium too?
Yeah. Well, the problem is they share it with so many fucking teams, and then they're also getting the MLS team, and I believe they're gonna be playing there as well. So they've got like
and they share it with college football.
Yeah, it's bad. It's real bad. I don't know if they're looking into getting like it's a new stadium, so I imagine they're going to plan to be there for quite a while, but like it really does seem like they need to get somewhere else for just soccer.
We talk shit about turf all the time, but if there's ever a field that should have turf, it's that one.
They're in San Diego. They should be able to get good grass.
Right, but with the amount of tracking and the amount that they'd have to replace with those fucking 100 football players on the sideline every weekend.
Audi Field has some issues with that sometimes too, but San Diego takes the cake for sure.
Yeah.
Christine Sinclair out of Portland is retiring after this season.
I think a lot of our reactions were finally. I mean, most prolific goal scorer on the international stage of all time.
Yeah.
That's a stat that will live with her for a long time, I think. But as a Portland player, that's about all I have to say about her.
I've watched her play for a very, very long time, and it's usually been in the sense of being on the opposing side of it. So I've never really been a big Sinclair fan, but I've watched her for a really long time. So you can't deny the history that she's created. So
Mm-hmm.
enjoy retirement.
The Spirit found a way to win without Trendy Rodman, who's still out with injury. So yeah, they beat Angel City. What was it, 2-1?
Yeah, it was 2-1, which that's the Rainer playing Angel City next. So I like playing a team that's gotten their asses beat the week before.
Yeah.
Let's keep them on a losing streak. That's all I'm saying. We did get a little bit of help this weekend. Would have been nice if we would have gotten our result because Utah beat Racing Louisville, which was, I would say, pretty unexpected.
I don't know. Utah's been better since they signed players.
But shouldn't Racing Louisville be better too?
Another former Rain player scored this weekend. It was an own goal.
Oh, don't, no, 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 no. Oh, I really, really, really wanted her to turn things around.
Yeah, Alana Cook is struggling at KC.
She got another own goal, which I think we figure out it was 3 this season.
I think it's 2, technically.
Because they counted the other one. They gave it to the player, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, I would say that like I know that the final is gonna be in KC, and they were playing really, really well. I don't know what the fuck is going on with their defense, but I think if Orlando can kind of keep the ship moving the way it's been going, I'm feeling pretty good about their chances going to KC because I feel like it's gonna be really hard to play KC. If it ends up with KC in the final, it's gonna be a hard game for anyone who's going in there. And I think Orlando would probably be the best chance for that. But now I'm thinking maybe other people do.
Yeah. It's always up in the air when it comes to playoffs.
We'll see what happens. Playoff standings are very tight. Reign are, what is it, 8 points from the playoff line. We got 4 matches left, 2 at home. The last one's Orlando away, so that's not going to be easy. But the fact that we're only 8 points off the playoff line, like if we went on a run and some other stuff happened, like Portland continues to suck.
Mm-hmm.
That's why there's still a chance. But didn't they say it could get wrapped up and figured out by like next week's match? If things are really tight though, so there could still be some movement there with the bottom 2 or 3 positions.
Yeah. Luckily, there's no relegation, so
Yeah.
got something to look forward to there. But yeah, I mean, it's gonna be tight with. I think Chicago's gonna be fine. But Portland, the way that Portland's looking, whew, man, they're not doing well. So Portland in 7th, tied with Bay in 8th at 28 points. So
someone from the bottom has gotta prove something.
yeah, Bay's on the up and up, and Portland plays Utah next weekend. So I think that'll be a game to watch because I think Utah could win that game.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Although I don't want to be embarrassed to the last place, but I also would rather see Portland out if we're not going to make the playoffs. Let's get a Mackenzie Arnold masterclass.
Well, we won't be in last place because if we beat Angel City next week, then we'll pop up above them.
Great. Get the job done. Rain, let's go.
Yeah, and Racing's just behind at 25 points, so they're one game.
They had a chance to really like put themselves in a good position and they kind of screwed that up for themselves. So that's
yeah,
sucks for them.
that was squandered.
Yeah, next Rain match, Friday, October 4th, 7 p.m. at Lumen Field.
Angel City, if we beat them, we pass them. We last played them September 6th, so it was fairly recent. 3-2 win. It was Rain's most recent win.
Mm-hmm. And
latest win.
That was also quite the ending to that.
Ah,
I'm sure Angel City is going to want a little bit of revenge, so that's something to definitely be mindful of.
yeah, and Alyssa Thompson, man, she brought it to us last time, so hopefully with Bug being back, I mean, I'm sure McLaren will also want some revenge from the last game, from the game we're talking about, but yeah, it'll be interesting.
I'm hoping the rank can pull it together after
we won 3, we just lost 3 in a row, so this is the last game was kind of must win. This is an absolutely utterly must win in terms of playoffs.
Good luck to the Rain and go get your tickets if you haven't already.
And use the Sounder at Heart link.
There's a link there, and they got a little discount, avoid some fees from Ticketmaster. We got a fun little shout out this week.
Yeah, we do. We got a new rating and review
That's right.
on Apple Podcasts.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know how to say your username. We were kind of debating it.
Flange Slammer. I'm going with Flange Slammer.
Flangy Slammer.
I don't know if that means something, and I probably shouldn't be saying it. That's, I guess, my problem is I'm not sure if I'm saying something kind of weird. But yeah, we got hit with a great 5-star review. So thank you. You wanna you wanna read the review?
Yeah. So this review is titled "Great to have a pod dedicated to the rain." Excellent. The body of the review goes in and says, I mean, the hosts seem to believe in Jordan Heidemann and think she's somehow a better, more effective striker than Bethany Balcer, which is very wrong by them. It's not backed up by a single data point.
Exclamation mark.
Sorry, I'm dying. But apart from that, very wrong opinion. It's a great pod with two hosts with good chemistry. Hey, look, Flange Slammer, we talked about this. You're not wrong.
No. So far you're correct. We don't have the data to back up our point. I will say take out the penalties from Bethany Balcer, and I don't know that we're seeing hugely different statistics between the two. I know Bethany scored more recently. I'm not saying Heinemann is doing what she should be doing, but I do think it is worth considering the penalties in this discussion.
And I would say that weighing potential and player potential in this is also important. But again, you're not wrong.
You're not wrong. And kind of like the Lori Harvey thing, I'm still waiting. She is Jordan Heidemann is only 23. That's pretty young. She'll be 24 in May, and then I think maybe we can reassess what's been happening here.
But thank you for your rate and review. We thoroughly enjoyed it, and we appreciate you.
Yeah, we love a 5-star review calling us out.
Into it.
Love it.
Oh, I think that'll wrap up this week's episode. Yeah, I don't have anything else.
I don't know. It sucks.
I am looking forward to the Angel City match, whether I should be or not.
Yeah, I'll be watching. I'll still be watching. Always. You can't stop me. As always, you can follow us on social media. We're on X, formerly known as Twitter, and Instagram, the same handle. It's Cooler Guild Pod.
You can send us an email. We love an email. It's thecoolerguild@gmail.com.
You can go and visit us on sounderheart.com/the Cooler Guild.
Or find our YouTube at youtube.com/@the-cooler-guild.
And if you want to leave us a tip, we also now have a tip option on our posts that we put up for all these episodes on Sounder at Heart. Go rate 5 stars wherever you listen. And also,
leave us a review and tell us what opinions. Leave us 5 stars and then just drag us in the body of your review, please. Yeah,
you can drag us. We're fine with that. I'm also like, we talk to each other. Sometimes we need other people to tell us what we're doing wrong.
Yeah.
And get some other perspective because, we try to gas up what the situation is a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes we're in denial about the situation.
Sometimes we like to live in our little fantasy land.
Can you blame us these days?
No.
It's bleak. All right. Thanks for listening. I'm Coop.
I'm Van. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Is it listed on here? Oh, I am a complete liar. So let's take this back.